coaches, Rick Stewart with AllAccessCoaching.com. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below so we can let you know when new content's been uploaded.
All right. Getting into our, if y'all have, again, guys, if y'all have any questions, please let me know. But getting into our base triple and how we install that and the different ways that we run it. So for us, read number one is the first man 4-eye or wider. We let our tackle dictate that. He's going to make the decision if that guy's a 4-eye or a wider. He dictates who number one is. Read number two is how we teach it, and listening to these talks last night and Thursday night, hearing different guys, how they explain who 1 and 2 are. This is the way that we teach it. We say first man outside to over top of number one is how we identify who number 2 is. Then, again, trying to find new ways to teach things. Our widest perimeter blocker, our widest perimeter blocker. So that could be our slot, our X, or our tight end could be the number one receiver to that side. So finding a way to streamline that rule for everybody, just calling them the widest perimeter blocker, they've got man on. We're not pointing up or pointing down. We've got our ways to combat some of that corner fire stuff. But for us, we're just telling them he's got man on. Our inside perimeter blocker, again, that could be our slot, our X, our tight end. They've all got to understand, who number 2 is, because they could all be in that position. They've got the first man outside to over top of number 2, just trying to streamline, read 2 to who we're blocking is the same verbiage, right? Trying to continue to keep the vocabulary the same so they just know it over and over. By the time they're junior and senior, they can never forget it. For our O-line, we're just zoning away from the call. We don't zone to the call. They've got the least amount to learn. Our skill guys have the most amount to learn. So we tell them where the play's going and then they zone away. Our O-back, his aim point is backside A-gap. Then obviously our quarterback is read 1 to read 2. What I don't have on here is our backside slot, our pitch back. With our snap count, he leaves when he needs to get in his pitch relationship, which earlier I said 5x7 wide, 1 step behind. You saw number 8 score the touchdown in that drive. Great football player for us. Number 10, who got the first toss, they're different speeds, and they would both tell you that they're different speeds. They leave at different times. It is not on a part of our snap count, and obviously we work at that tirelessly. So here I have our triple diagrammed against, mostly even fronts throughout the day, but the film will be different fronts. So first man, we got triple to the right, first man 4-eye wider is number 1. So it'd be this 5 technique. First man outside over top is number 2. Our widest perimeter blocker, he's got man on. Our second perimeter blocker, he's got the first man outside to over top. Well, since outside to over top is inside of him, he can now check what we call wall. So he's going to block the most dangerous of these 2 guys inside of him. So if the motion starts and that free safety comes screaming, then he's going to block the free safety. If that free safety is sitting in here and he's fitting for the scraper, then he's going to check the wall and collect the linebacker. So our rule will be anytime someone's inside, you check wall. Our O-line zoning away. Then we've got our O-back, his track, and we do this in pistol and offset. His track is backside cheek of the center, backside A-gap, and then he's bending it front side. Then you'll see here our quarterback reading 1, staying flat coming out here. We don't want him getting downhill. We want him to distribute the football. If you're the runner, you're the runner, but we really want you to distribute the football. All right, so here are a couple clips. Here we've got what we call an even Mike front, 4 down, 1 in the box, 2 overhangs, right? So we've got triple coming down to the bottom of our screen here to the offensive left. So, and you'll probably notice, our widest perimeter blocker, where that corner is inside. How are we going to handle that? Well, we really like to teach concepts around here, not just plays. Where is that safety? There's no way he's firing and him getting out here and covering you. So we know that guy's going to come back out and account for our receiver. So we're not too concerned about that. Then we work our way back inside. First man 4-hour wider is this 5 technique. First man outside over top is this stack backer. So he's 2. So now our slot finds 1, finds 2. First man outside over top is this safety sitting here on the M. Our line is zoning away. Our O-back will take his track. So again, it's a pretty good pitch relationship right there. He could probably leave a little bit later because he kind of chokes his motor right there. I'd like him to keep on sprinting, but pretty good pitch relationship. And we teach our quarterback as soon as he out leverages number 2 to pitch it. And you'll see the exchange here from 2 and 1 on the defensive side. Well, we teach our quarterback that if they're stacked like that, if they're anywhere near each other, you're reading the stack. So as soon as he saw either one of them come inside, he's going to pull and he's going to pitch off of the other one. Great patience by our slot here. We have a cut rule of no more than 5 yards downfield. So, and I think this is an advantage of, I don't know where in your state, if you can cut or not, but just by virtue of the ball not hitting as fast, that safety is not screaming down that fast. So whether Mark does a great job of cutting this guy, but I think he could base him up too because of the timing of where that slot back is when he catches the football, where that safety is. I think he could base him up right here if he wanted to, because by the time that guy gets there, that block basically needs to happen. We've got about a 4 to 5 yard box right there. Our back is going to have made his decision and take off running. So always nice to have a senior that's a 4-year starter to make some guys miss out there too. Here's our line. We're just zoning away, and I don't want this to be a pure offensive line talk. So, but if you guys have questions now or later, please let me know about the offensive line play. Here, all of these are to our open side. So we've got read 1, read 2. Pitching off of that. So again, we teach them concepts. They made the stack backer number 2 there, but that's why we teach them concepts so that, as long, and we also tell our slots that, our quarterback will make you right. He's got time away from the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have to always pitch that ball immediately. We're not really getting the blood stunts of 2 in your face right now because of where we are. So he's got the time to make you right. So if they do some type of exchange out there and you end up blocking number 2, well, our quarterback's got time to see that. All right, here we are running it again to the left. First man 4-hour wider would be this 5 technique right here. First man outside over top will be number 2. Our receiver is man on. So now our slot, first man outside over top of number 2. It will now be the safety, so he can go wall to safety. That wall stays inside, so now he gets his eyes to that safety. Ends up being a give for us, but you can see number 8's eyes check that wall. He's probably a little long on the wall, and he can probably take his angle a little bit wider to cut it. He's a perimeter blocker, but great eyes by him there. Again, here's 1. We'll see who they called 2 right there. They still call the first man outside. They didn't call him stack. Sometimes they will. Here's 1. Here's 2. First man 4-hour wider. First man outside over top. So now we still get a wall checker. He thought that wall was threatening, so he collects him. It was a give, so it didn't hurt us there. But all right. Again, another 2x2 formation. Great look for us to run triple down here. This is in the FCS playoffs this past fall against Kennesaw State, who was also a triple team, fastest game in history. But first man 4-hour wider, here's 1. Then first man outside to over top is 2. So it would be this safety. We're not going to count that corner because we keep it simple for our X. He's blocking man on. So this safety would be 2. So that would automatically make our slot a wall checker. Very, very tight squeeze scrape there. But just this is about as good a look as you'll get. I really like our slot to come off of that and head to the backside safety there, because that's really who he would be responsible for here. There's 1, there's 2. He's checking wall to the backside safety. Oh, excuse me. Go back. And again, I know I'm speeding through a fair amount of this, so if you guys have questions, but you'll see our slot at the top, he's spaced out there. So another reason that we don't say you leave on this part of the snap count is so that we can align them anywhere, right? And then that they just have to, through reps, understand their timing to get to their pitch relationship. And like I said earlier, if they want the football, they'll understand this is great pitch relationship. He is way out there stretching the defense horizontally, one step behind him. We might even pitch that thing a little bit downfield, pretty darn close.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with allaccesscoaching.com. I really hope this video helps make you a better coach. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below so we can let you know when new content becomes available, because we're all about coaches helping coaches. And remember, coach, better today, never as good as tomorrow.